Hi, my name is Patricia Kandou and I'm from Indonesia. In this video, let's discuss how far within the education system shall we go with national attitudes. To answer that, first off, are there any good reasons for using history lessons and other subjects to try to instill particular desired attitudes towards one's country? Well, I think not. Instead, they should encourage open-mindedness and critical thinking. It can be said that it's difficult to find anything completely free of subjectivity, so facts and opinions should be cited, so students can be allowed to individually interpret. As Wahidyar says pertaining to Afghanistan, we do not want schools to be places where children start fighting over the country's history. What do you do if these lessons conflict with attitudes instilled in neighboring countries? Well, see, this is why I think it's a bad idea in the first place. You have one country and another, and you ingrain both with conflicting perspectives against each other, you create the conflict. Anyway, if the lessons do conflict with other countries, there are still ways to reconfigure the narrative. Support freedom movements and other groups that really go into the roots of history and open up minds. Let children grow by literature and the arts, speak through the media and other facilitators that connect us to the society at large. Find mediums of learning that are beyond the formal public education. As Lassig points out, as long as textbooks are issued or approved by the state, they'll remain a political issue. But as access to other texts is enjoyed more widely, some of the dominance they now enjoy will wane. The arts are created not for confusion, but so we can take pleasure in digging into history. Would it be a good idea to replace nation building with a more diverse and multicultural approach towards history, geography, religion, language, and culture? So pasti means definitely in the Manado ethnic language, my hometown. Tentu saja is when you say it in Indonesian, the national language. So, yes, to speak of nation building or national attitudes is to call upon Anderson's concept of nation that looks at how nations, which are today less scientifically referred to as countries, are formed. Indonesia, for instance, only had its very name conceived after it gained independence as a nation from the Dutch colonial period. Before that, the area of thousands of islands had a number of civilizations and kingdoms coming from the Arabs, Indians, Chinese, and Portuguese. It only became a nation after independence, which means that its birth was in line with the Dutch settlement. So if we try to see certain parts of the world regardless of national borders, we zoom out and zoom in to see and learn that cultural identity is far beyond just the national. In my case, Indonesia, if we do use a more diverse and multicultural approach towards the social sciences, I would step back to see, for instance, Austronesia or the Kingdom of Sriwijaya, or step closer to see Java or Maluku. Layers of hybridity and in-betweenness that a country's territory stands on. Said points how the colonial period is yet one of the ways that nationalist identities are indeed created. Other countries may have different kinds of national births. Nathan Brown mentions that strongly nationalistic flavor of Palestinian textbooks is not surprising when an entity has been born in conflict with another state. We may say the same with the ex-Yugoslavian countries. In these cases, it wouldn't be a good idea at all to place too much national attitude in their curriculums. Of course, each citizen still needs to know how their country came about. So the need to wane away national attitudes would basically be to avoid conflict and have larger scales in looking at culture and history.